So I have intro music now. I also have music at the end of this, and there's sort of a point to it. It has to do with change number 6, which I'll talk about in a future video. Hope you don't mind it. Hi again, how are you? I am pretty excited. Thanks for asking. The reason I'm excited is that I am 308 pounds, which in addition to being 2.5 pounds less than I was in my video 10 days ago, is also just barely above 40 BMI for my height, which means that this is the very last time you will ever see me be morbidly obese. And these are my last days of morbid obesity forever. And next time you see me, I'll be merely severely obese. And that particular number 40 doesn't really mean anything in reality, obviously, but it's, to me, a very significant milestone, and I'm going to mark it. Oh, and the other reason I'm excited is that I've discovered a place called Body Comp Imaging here in Vancouver that does DXA scans for about $100 a pop. A DXA scan is like a low-level X-ray. It tells you how much of your body to within about half a pound is bone, is lean tissue, and is fat. And so it's really the gold standard for body fat percentage measuring. And I just found out about the place this weekend, so I haven't got an appointment or anything yet. But as soon as I get my real body fat percentage, I'll of course post it on my channel page, and I'll tell you all about it in my next video. And I can get that done every 3 months or so, and for the in-between times I'll be able to then use that information to calibrate the estimation that I do using the US Navy's method that I talked about in my last video. And speaking of that, I decided that what I'm going to do is measure my neck and waist every week on Sunday mornings and average it with the 2 previous weeks, and that will give me like a rolling 3-week average, which should smooth out any measurement error. Because my bottom line, after all, is fat loss and not weight loss. And my bottom line is also about these permanent changes that I'm making to my life. And you can't really see it. There's a weight bench behind me. I guess my morbid obesity is still in the way, but for now. But that has to do with change number 5, which I'll talk about in my next video. Change number 2 and number 3 are going quite well, I think. Change number 3 is fruits and vegetables. I'm still at about eating 5 fruits and vegetables a day. I might increase that to 6 or 7 by the end of April, but I'm going to keep the commitment itself at 5 because that's definitely sustainable. And change number 2, I'm getting practical time done about 5 days of the week. There's tasks that need to be done that aren't getting done, so I really have to work on my consistency with that. Maybe I might have to increase that commitment from 30 minutes to 40 minutes a day, but I'm going to work on the consistency first and see what happens with that. This video, however, is about change number 4, and that is regular sleep. Thinking back to the last 2 times that I lost a lot of weight, when I turned 24, I was 200 pounds, down from 280 pounds just 4 years before that. And at the time, I worked between 3 and 11 p.m. At a video store, and then I would, after work, I'd go home, change, go out to a club for dancing and other fun activities. Usually go to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and wake up whenever I feel like it. Then I was promoted to management and had to start work at 7 a.m. And my social life didn't really adapt to my new work schedule. I tried to take naps in the evenings. That didn't really work, and so I was really only getting about 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. And I started gaining weight right away. Even though I was dancing, like at least 2 hours 4 or 5 nights a week. And on the weekends, I would go to raves and after-hours clubs and dance like 5, 6, 7 hours straight. So I was physically fit, and I was desperately trying to stay on my starvation diet, but the weight kept coming back on. And within 2 years, I was back at over 280 pounds where I had started. Then, when I was 28, I got back down into the 220s. And I did this with a much better plan than before. Less starvation, more carbohydrate control, more strength training, although I wasn't as consistent with that as I needed to be. But once again, I went from working evenings at a restaurant to doing prep cooking. And almost immediately my weight loss progress stalled and slowly began to reverse. And since then, I've gone back to school, and since I graduated school, I've always had jobs that start really early in the morning, and the results are what you see here. So I'm learning from that experience, and I'm coming to understand that full regular sleep is the absolute bedrock foundation for everything I'm going to do. It sucks that in order to get that full regular sleep, I have to be in bed by 10:30 p.m. on weeknights, and in order not to screw up the schedule too much, I try to be in bed by midnight on Fridays and Saturday nights. And it's really lame, but it's also really necessary for me. This change was supposed to start on February 21st, around the same time that I was starting this channel, and it was the first change I was doing purposely as part of the 40 changes by age 40 concept. But I actually got it started about a week early because I came down with a really bad sinus cold that everyone seemed to get. And I was taking Benylin nighttime at night and Benylin daytime in the morning. And that just put me on like this really regular sleep pattern that I maintained after the cold was gone. And so if you have problems getting to sleep, if you get the chance to get on a regular sleep schedule like that, regularity definitely begets more regularity. It's like a self-reinforcing cycle. And so it gets easier and easier to get to sleep if you stay on the same schedule. The other thing I do that helps is that I get away from bright computer screens and stuff like that about an hour before I have to go to bed. And so that is it. There's nothing too exciting about this change, but I happen to believe it's probably one of the most important changes that I'll ever do. It's a challenge for me because normally I am a night person. It doesn't fit my life as I would like it, but it does fit my life as I really live it because, or at least until I have a job that doesn't start at crazy o'clock. It's realistic, and I can do it for the rest of my life. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Breath.